finally happening? Boys, it's finally happening! Oh my god! Okay, let's get into it. First off, happy end of season RTA to those who are doing their last minute pushes. We'll get into it later, but Mamma Mia, this LRK skin is definitely worth it, so get to it, chop chop. But RTA aside, the new Guild Wars season is starting on the 16th of September, so make sure to start looking, recruiting, or having your steady supply of mystics coming every few days. Side note, the new frames from the season look pretty cool, nothing too insane like I'd hoped, but that's besides the point. If we double back to the PvP side of things though, ta-da! Yes, this LRK skin is super cool and super sick, and its hype is only matched by my desire to pre-ban him every time I get hit by his pipe.
I win again.
In case you didn't see the other awards as well, the new frames are pretty decent, nothing too insane, but certainly different yet fitting for the zero defect city aesthetic that we've got going on. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for! Yes, Doggy Trainer Lilias is finally here! Now we've been spoiled with what class and the artifact that Lilias has. However, her being a grass thief, which is crazy because the last grass thief that we had that was really good was Violet, and that was really toxic. But if you look at her artifact, it's an effect res scaling damage artifact. So we might actually have our first effect resistance scaling damage dealer. What the? We'll just have to wait and see though. We don't really know what her kit is gonna be. It looks like she's probably gonna be a damage dealer. It kind of looks like she's gonna resist, maybe F-res scaling damage. We'll see. And alongside her release is an event trailer to celebrate the new side story that she's being packaged with. In addition to the small anime crumbs that we've been given, Smilegate anime, please win for the love of God. We do see the new Sinji skin, which could indicate that we'll see it soon. Honestly though, I'm not really sure if Sinji needed a skin. But in an incredible turn of events, there is actually something worth getting excited for in the new side story. And that's the underground Brawl arena. Now normally we get some snoozer AFK machine that you boot up and clear for your Moligoras, your Catalysts, etc. But this time around there's a unique arena event where you summon heroes to complete fights and receive rewards. The exact details of this new event or content is still to be announced or discussed, but this is exciting news considering how boring and bland most of the side stories usually are. And somehow none of this actually compares to the most exciting part of the event, which is the rewards. Finally, new 88 gear that's coming out for free. A new pet that they've actually given us, and it's not just a rerun of the old pets. Smilegate is listening. Moving along, we have another piece of big news, which is the introduction of Choux, who most at this point have already seen teasers, trailers, the kit of, etc. She's one of EpicSeven's most colorful and creative looking characters, and personally, I love the Power Ranger Splatoon looking aesthetic that they've selected for her. I haven't seen too much deep diving going on when it comes to her kit, but to give you a quick rundown of what her kit is, Choux's basic skill increases her own combat readiness whenever she attacks, which is pretty typical for a health scaling, bruiser, counter, bulky character like that. And she gains 1 focus, which is important for her second skill, Wild Charge. Wild Charge gives her 20% innate crit chance, great value. And at the start of her turn, she gains 1 focus while giving herself a new buff added to the game that provides her with 2000 fixed damage that injures on every hit that she makes. As a secondary passive, whenever her focus bar is full, her skill 3 cooldown resets completely. Now before we get into her third skill, I want to emphasize that her kit by this point really suggests that her skill 3 is impactful and very worthwhile. And regardless of how good or bad the rest of her skills are, it's all for this. So if the skill 3 sucks, she kinda sucks. If the skill 3 is good, she's kinda good. Plain and simple. And judging by the way the skill 3 looks, it's hard to tell. But what I will say is that one of the main concerns about Choux is seeing her kit and wondering how she could ever keep up with her counterpart who makes you regret waking up. Choux has no built-in counter. Choux is not a knight, and although she has the ability to injure every single turn, how the hell is she supposed to counter when she's a warrior and doesn't have it built into her kit? Well, the answer is this handy dandy, super underrated speed buff. Speed buff is pretty criminally underrated since it's no extra turn, but the other half of the reason why Lua is so infuriating to play against is because she takes 20 turns when you take 1. Now again, we'll just have to wait to see how impactful this injury damage on skill 3 is, but it feels very reminiscent of Ilanov's injury scaling damage on skill 2, and that shit kinda hurts. So assuming it works that way, it's AoE, and it's gonna hurt a lot. Good luck, everyone. There are some minor changes that have been added that are worth noting, like the fact that you can now do a best of 7 draft mode, but I want to make a special shout out to Smilegate and EpicSeven as a whole, because this draft mode edition has got to be one of the greatest features that they've ever added. Recently, if you guys have been seeing the sponsors rolling through with Genshin creators, VTubers, etc., the ability for older returning players to get a taste of RTA with draft mode is such a breath of fresh air. There's plenty of benefits like not needing gear, having larger audiences see what a replayable PvP game filled with great animations and waifus or husbandos is super great for us, but it isn't without its faults. Since a lot of new players, be it sponsored or not, simply don't have access to draft mode until they've spent a decent amount of time on the game, they don't actually get to test out this mode until much later. And as someone who enjoys reliving the nostalgia of EpicSeven, whenever I see someone new try the game, I encourage Smilegate to let players have access to this mode, since there really isn't any downside to giving new players access to a non-ranked mock mode. I mean, seriously, are we gonna complain about having default Ra's picture beat someone in a draft mode lobby? Come on. For the gacha side of things, if you're one of the few remaining individuals who haven't already built their Conqueror Lilias, Circus Fantasia is a great option for you, assuming you aren't running the Proof of Valor tank variant. Mort is Mort and may see some play with Choux coming out and all the injury units running around, but a special shout out to Brig and Ancient Dragon's Legacy being paired together, because at least from what I've seen, these two together are pretty damn strong. All that being said though, neither of these banners are actually limited, so spend responsibly. I mean, Midnight Gala Lilias is coming out on the 21st, and since she herself is a limited, it's worth getting her. But finally, ML Choux is coming out on the 14th, and she's definitely gonna drain my bank account, so rest in peace, wallet. Side note, the LQC skin from last season has also finally been added to the skin shop, so those of you who accidentally decayed out of Masters last season can pay the skin tax for forgetting to play. That's gonna be it for this video though, guys. Overall, a decently exciting patch considering we're in the middle of an E7 World Championship, the RTA season is ending, and all of our wallets are still not recovered from the summer. Please, Smilegate, stop milking me. But if you enjoyed today's content, make sure to like, comment what you're most excited for, and subscribe. Check out all my socials, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, you know what's up, TikTok, etc, etc. I'll see you guys all next time. Adios.